Hello dear students, let us start our new chapter, moving charges and magnetism. Moving charges and magnetism. As we know that about electricity and magnetism near about 2000 years ago, but knew few about 200 years ago, Dutch physicist named Hans Christian Ørsted. Near about 1820, he demonstrated by a lecture that when there is a current flowing through a wire, then there is a magnetic field produced around the wire. And he found this with the experiment that if there is a current flowing through the wire, then if there is a magnetic needle placed just besides the wire, then the magnetic needle gets deflection through itself, and this deflection is stronger when the needle and the wire both are placed to each other. Either the current flowing through the wire is higher. He also returns or inverted the current flowing through the wire after returning the direction of current, reversing the current. He found that the polarity of the magnetic needle also changed. It means the polarity which initially is settled at this case, after changing the polarity of the current, it means reversing the current, the deflection in the magnetic needle get reversed. It means by doing some experiment, he also concluded that the direction of the magnetic field is just around the wire, and it is taking as a concentric circles form. Okay, he make a cardboard and takes just in the plane of this paper, and the wire is settled by piercing through the paper, just taking perpendicular, and the current flowing through the wire is taken just upward direction, and all these two are connected by a battery source, plus minus. Then there is a current flowing through this direction, and he sprinkled some iron fillings on this plane. Then he found that the iron fillings get settled in such a manner that they form the concentric circles. All the circles are concentrics. Okay, so such type of observation obtained by Hans Christian Ørsted, and after observing this, he concluded that a current carrying conductor or the moving charges always produces a magnetic field around itself, and the direction of the magnetic field produced around the current carrying conductor or the moving charge is always form a concentric circle, and in a particular circle the value of the magnetic field is constant, but the direction of the magnetic field is always tangential to the circle's each point. It means at any point on the circle, the direction of the magnetic field is always along the tangential direction. If we join this point from the center of the circle, then if we draw a tangent at this point, then we get the direction of the magnetic field, and if we move at and reach at this point, then after joining it, we get the direction of the magnetic field at this direction. It means direction of the magnetic field at each point is always tangential to the circular track, but the magnitude of the electric field on each circular track is constant. When we go further away from the wire, then we are found that the magnitude of the magnetic field decreases continuously, but at each circular track the amount of the magnetic field is constant. It means when the radius of the circular track is larger, then the magnetic field on the each point of the track is smaller, and if radius of the track is smaller, then the magnitude of the field is larger if the current flowing through the wire is taking constant. So this is a simple experiment that can be performed by the Hans Christian physicist. He was a Dutch physicist, and after that it was assumed that electricity and magnetism both are intimately related to each other. It means when there is a current flowing through the wire, it means there is a moving charges produced through any wire, then there is a magnetic field around the wire or moving charge. So if we do not move any charge, in earlier chapters we have studied about the electrostatics, and in that chapter we have seen that when there is a charge and not moving with respect to time, it means charge is placed at any fixed point, that is stationary charge. So such type of charge does not produce any type of magnetic field. Such type of charge is always produced an electric field, and such type of charge always produced an electric field, and such type of charge produced always electric field. If we place this charge inside any electric field, then suppose that if the amount of the field is E, then such type of charge experience a force, that is Coulombic force, and the value of this force is always equal to Q dot E. If the nature of this charge is positive, then the force acting by this field on this charge is always taken along the direction of field. But if the nature of this charge is taken as negative, then the force acting on this charge by this field is always taken just opposite to the direction of field. Okay, so if we discuss any field that is or any charge which are moving with constant speed and they are producing a constant magnetic field also. So if we assume such type of field that is electromagnetic field, it means electric field and magnetic fields, and both are crossed with each other. So suppose that first we have discussed that how we can represent two directions. Suppose that if we want to represent the direction just perpendicular to the plane of this board, if we want to denote the direction of the perpendicular to the plane of the board, then we have used a symbol that is dot. And if we want to the direction going into the plane of the board, so we have used a symbol that is cross. This cross indicates the direction of the direction perpendicular and going into the plane of the board, and this dot denotes the direction going outward and just perpendicularly outward or emerging out of the plane of the board. So suppose that we have two crossed field, one is electric field, and other is perpendicular field, that is magnetic field. Suppose that dot dot dot, it means the magnetic field is perpendicular to the emerging out of the plane of the board. Then magnetic field is in this direction and electric field is in direction. So if we put any charge in this electromagnetic field, then this charge must experience an electrostatic force upon itself. If initially this charge is assumed as at rest position, then this charge must be experience an electrostatic force that has a value Q dot E. But when this charge starts motion, then this charge produces an electric current. It means they produces a magnetic field. So if the magnetic field produced by the charge interacted with the magnetic field possessed by this external source, when two magnetic fields are interacted each other, then such type of charge which produces the magnetic field experience a magnetic force, and whose value is equal to Q into V cross B. It means the value of the magnetic force experienced by this moving charge whose velocity is V at any instant time, and the magnetic field in which the charge is moving is B, and the amount of charge is Q, then the magnetic force experienced by that charge is Q into V cross B. So from here we can see that the direction of the magnetic force is always perpendicular to both the V and B. It means the direction of the magnetic force is always perpendicular to the plane formed with the help of the velocity of the charge and the magnetic field of the charge. It means the plane formed by the velocity and magnetic field is always contains the direction perpendicular to itself. Okay, so if we combine all these two, then this will provide us the total force exerting on any charged particle which is moving on any electromagnetic field. So this will be equal to electric field plus magnetic field, and this can be written as Q into E cross B plus Q into V cross B. Okay, so if we take Q as common, then we get E plus V cross B. This force was first introduced by Lorentz, scientist, greatest scientist, who also provides the Lorentz transformations, for which he also awarded by a Nobel Prize in 1902, Lorentz. So this force was named as Lorentz because this was first introduced by Lorentz. Okay, so this is a simple case of the electric field and magnetic field. Both are produced by any charged particle, or what is the total force experiencing by a charged particle placed in a crossed electromagnetic field. So from here the direction of the force also, if we discuss about what is the force acting on the charged particle, then we can mention that direction of the force can be given by the Maxwell's right hand rule, in which if we take the first quantity, that is velocity, and second is B, then if the angle between the velocity and magnetic field is theta, then this M can be defined as Q into VB sine of theta dot n cap, where n cap is the direction perpendicular to the V and B both. It means the perpendicular direction of the plane formed by V and B. So n cap is the direction which contains the perpendicular direction. It means the perpendicular to this plane, so it can be represented by a dot. So this is the direction of Fm. So this is a simple value, and if we take V cross B, then its direction is normally outward, emerging outward, and if we take V cross B like this, V is at here and B is at here, then we are taking that V cross B is in clockwise direction, so the direction of the force experiencing by the charged particle will be into the plane of the board. Okay, so this is decided by the Maxwell's right hand thumb rule that provides the direction of the magnetic force experiencing by a charged particle in a electromagnetic field. Okay, so let us discuss more about what is magnetic field and who provides the concept of electromagnetic field, or a simple magnetic field, was stressed by Michael Faraday, and it was incorporated by Maxwell, James Clerk Maxwell, in his Maxwell equations, by which Maxwell demonstrated that the electromagnetism, that means electricity, magnetism, and also the light are unified to each other. It means all these two produced a simple concept that is known as electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave, and this concept was incorporated by Maxwell. In this he postulated that accelerating charge particle always produces an electromagnetic wave, and light is also a type of wave that nature contains by itself is electromagnetic. It means light is an electromagnetic wave. So this is the further discussion material, but now we want to discuss what is the magnetic field. What is the magnetic field? So magnetic field, we know that magnetic field, if we produce the formula for the magnetic force, then by taking the magnitude we get this is QVB sine of theta. If we take theta is 0, then we get the value of the force is 0. It means when any charge particle moving parallel or anti-parallel to the magnetic field, then the charge cannot experience any type of magnetic force by that field. So if any charge moving making some angle with the magnetic field, so such type of charge can experience some magnetic field. But if any charge that are moving with making 90 degree from the direction of magnetic field, such type of charge experience a large amount of force on itself by the magnetic field. So if we take theta equal to 90 and q equal to 1 coulomb of charge, and velocity of the charge particle is 1 meter per second, and also if we take the force experienced by the charge particle is 1 Newton, then what will be the value of the magnetic field? So from here we get that F equal to QVB sine theta, so F by QV, because sine of 90 becomes 1. So F, if we take as 1 Newton, Q 1 coulomb, V 1 meter per second. So unit of the magnetic field, B becomes Newton second per coulomb meter, and this unit was adapted as a simple by another name, which was achieved or received by some scientist after the honor of Nikola Tesla. That is, this can be also named as Tesla. So the unit of the magnetic field is also Tesla, and 1 Tesla is equal to 1 Newton second per coulomb meter. Okay, so Tesla is a very large unit, so we use a very small unit, that is non-SI unit. Here Tesla is a SI unit because all these physical quantities, that is force, charge and velocity, is measured in SI unit. So the Tesla is also SI unit. But if we take the smaller unit of magnetic field, that is Gauss, so it was taken in the honor of Carl Friedrich Gauss. So one Gauss is equal to 10 to the power minus 4 of Tesla. This is the relation between Gauss and Tesla. Tesla is the SI unit and this is non-SI. Okay, so you can easily relate how much Gauss is in 1 Tesla. If we put Newton as dyne, second as second, coulomb as stat coulomb, and meter in centimeter, then we get what will be the value of the Gauss. 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. So this is the unit of the magnetic field. Okay, unit of magnetic field. Now what is the dimension of magnetic field? Dimension of magnetic field. So dimension of magnetic field, B is equal to what? F by QV. F by QV. So dimension of F is mLT power minus 2, and Q, that is ampere second, and velocity LT power minus 1. So after finding this, the dimension of B is equal to m. Here is L and here is also L, this will be cancel each other, and T to the power minus 1, and heat this T power minus 1 and this T will cancel each other, so T ki power minus 2 and A ki power minus 1. So this is the dimension of the magnetic field. It means mt power minus 2 A power minus 1. So this is all about the magnetic field and the production of the magnetic field and history. So tomorrow we will discuss more about the force experiencing by a current carrying conductor placed in any magnetic field by Sievert's law and other discussions, all remaining part of this chapter. Till that, take care. Thank you.